Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another Magic Arena Explorer video. So today we are playing some new cards from Wilds of Eldraine, which has just landed in a mono-black Waste Not deck. So the new cards we're playing are Beseech the Mirror, which is probably the most powerful card in the set. It's a 4-mana sorcery with Bargain, which means you can sacrifice an artifact, enchantment, or token as you cast it. And then you can search your library for a card, exile it face down. If the spell was bargained, you may cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. If that spell's mana value is 4 or less, put the exile card into your hand if it wasn't cast this way. So essentially we can play any, providing that we can reliably bargain this, we can play any spell from our library straight into play. And so we have things like Collector's Vault, which generates tokens, Reckon a Bankbuster, which generates tokens, Waste Not, which generates tokens, to essentially reliably, and the Mirex as well, to be able to reliably sacrifice something, and then that allows us to fetch whatever card we need. And then we're also running Rankle's Prank, which is another 4-mana sorcery that says choose one or more. Each player discards 2 cards, each player loses 4 life, each player sacrifices 2 creatures, so we can kind of modulate this to have the most impact. But obviously in a Waste Not deck, we are primarily wanting to use the discard effect, because Waste Not allows us to essentially get value out of anything our opponent discards. So if they discard a creature card, we get a zombie. If they discard a land card, we get 2 mana. If they discard a non-creature, non-land, we draw a card. So Rankle's Prank allows us to do that, but also can clear the opponent's board of creatures and sometimes just win the game out of nowhere if the opponent's on 4 or less life. And so the rest of the deck is essentially built around making the opponent discard as many cards as possible. So we've got 4 copies of Thoughtseize to do that. We've got 2 copies of Go Blank in the main deck. We've got 4 Liliana. And we've also got these Rankle's Pranks, so they will allow us to essentially force the opponent to do a lot of discarding, and we're also running 2 copies of Gaia Reach Sanitarium as well, so that we get kind of maximum value off our Waste Knots, and then the rest of the deck is kind of control around that. So we've got Fatal Push, Go for the Throat, Heartless Act as kind of removal spell, Shieldred's Edict as well, just to kind of control the opponent's board while we're kind of setting up with all of our various Waste Not triggers, and then we were also running 3 copies of Shieldred the Apocalypse, just as a way of kind of closing out the game, and an Extinction Event as well as mass removal. Then, as I say, we've got 2 copies of Reckon a Bankbuster to kind of help us with the with kind of just drawing more cards, getting more value, and then Collector's Vault as well does a not too dissimilar thing to Reckon a Bankbuster. Not quite as good, obviously, but does create the treasure token as well. And then we use in the mana base, we've got 4 copies of Castle Lochthwain, 2 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, Attack Enuma, 2 Field of Ruin, 2 Gaia Reach Sanitarium, and a Mirex. So being a monocolor deck does allow us to kind of play a lot of these utility lands, but we do need to reliably able to cast Beseech the Mirror, which doesn't have the easiest casting cost in the world. And this isn't, I would say this deck probably isn't the easiest to always be able to bargain, so I think we'll have to kind of play a little bit around that, which is why we're only running 2 copies rather than any more. You know, if this was like a Doom Foretold deck where you're actively trying to sacrifice things, you might well run all 4 copies, but we've just got 2 for the time being, and 3 copies of Rankle's Prank. Then in the sideboard, we've got Cling to Dust and Unlicensed Hearse as our graveyard hate. Got some more. We've got another discard spell in Duress, Ray of Enfeeblement to deal with white creatures, a couple more Reckon a Bankbusters just to help us out in those kind of longer, grindier matches, a Filigree Silex, a Cry of the Kynarium, a Glistening Deluge, and 2 Extinction Events as kind of mass removal as and when we need it. Then we're running 1 copy of Kalitas just to kind of create another game-ending finisher if we need it. Then another new card, we're running 1 copy of the End. So this is a 4-mana instant that allows us to exile any creature or planeswalker and also remove all copies of the same card from the opponent's grave, hand, and library, and sometimes will only cost 2 mana as well. So a very powerful sideboard spell from the new set, so we'll see how that does as well. And then our other mass removal spell is the Meathook Massacre, always great. So yes, this is a very controlling style deck, but it is one that kind of has a purpose of making the opponent discard as many cards as possible. So yeah, classic Waste Not, running a few new cards, excited to try these out, see how consistently we can get Beseech the Mirror to work, see how useful Rankle's Prank is in a Waste Not shell. Yeah, let's see how we go on. So thanks very much for the support, as ever. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons. Now that we're in Wilds of Eldraine, we will be having plenty more content to come. New cards, new decks, and yeah, let's go onto the ladder and see how we go on with this. Right. Okay. Yep, this is a piece of hand if we draw another land. Looks like probably spirits for our opponent. Okay, maybe not. Consider... so they're playing a Narset token style deck by the look of it. Okay, well, let's get rid of that. Okay, that would have been a good time to have double Waste Knot, but we can go for the throat. That. Can Thought Seize our opponent. Take the other Fable. Uptick. I think we'll discard... what will we discard here? Probably Edict. All of our other cards are quite good. Okay, they're playing new Sleight of Hand. I like that. Oof. Come now. Okay, let's play Waste Knot number 2. Thoughtseize. Probably taking Meeting of Minds here. Yep. Draw 2 cards. Okay, we did get there with the land. Just in time for our prank to be not so good, but never mind. Yep, okay, that was a fairly brutal first game for our opponent. So, I think we want some mass removal spells. Meat Hook Massacre's good. Fatal Push is good. Extinction Event's probably pretty good here. And what are we taking out? Probably the Sacrifice removal. And maybe one copy of Bankbuster as we want to go relatively quickly here. Anything else we want to put in? Oh, the Filigree Silex is actually quite good at taking out loads of tokens. So let's pop that in and take out one of our Shieldreds. Or, no, let's take out one Rankle's Prank. As the sacrifice effect probably isn't quite as good. Yep, Waste Knot into Liliana is always very welcome, so... Okay, Sleight of Hand for our opponent. Always worth remembering that this is a sorcery, unlike a lot of the other 1-mana blue cantrips, so you do have to cast it on your turn. Interesting. Let's take their invasion here, I think. Interesting they didn't cast Shredder there. Oh, well, let's play Waste Knot. It's probably better for us, actually, because it means that we can just immediately hit them with the Sacrifice, and suddenly the Connive ability on Ledger Shredder is a bit less good. So let's play Liliana. Immediately tick up. Discard Duplicate Waste Knot. So let's play Rankle's Prank. Let's go for all three modes. Okay, fairly brutal first match there. And I believe that knocks us into Platinum. Very good. Okay. Okay, not sure our other games are going to be quite as hilariously one-sided as that, but we'll take it for the time being. The opponent's very deep in thought about their first turn play. I believe it's traditional to start with a land. There we are. And a Thoughtseize, that's also quite traditional. Fair enough. Well, we'll hit them with an Edict. Okay, they're a bit short of land. We're a bit short of everything else. They've got land. That's not going to do it for you. Okay, let's use our castle, start generating a bit of card advantage before it's too late. Okay, just draw another swamp. Oof. Well, we'll take their Shieldred then. That's seems to be the only thing they've got going on. So we can't Fatal Push that at this point, but if we Field of Ruin their Watery Grave, then we can indeed. Still nothing, I'm afraid. But I appreciate the effort. So I will play... is there any point playing Shieldred just for them to bounce it again? It does get the bounce out their hand, I suppose. Yeah, that's fine. Do we Gaia Reach Sanitarium just to get one of their Fatal Pushes out? Probably. Yep. Okay. Thoughtseize them again. Going to be a close one, I think. Maybe not. Okay, so we're Shieldred locked at the moment. So let's Gaia Reach. Kill their Shieldred. So we will go to 1 next turn. That's fine. I mean, I say it's fine. If they don't have a creature they can play, then they can't attack us. Yep. Good, good. We love to see it. Okay. So let's play Liliana. Make them sack a creature. Yep, okay. Draw and discard. Then they just lose on their upkeep. Okay, very good. So, Dimir Rogues. What are we bringing in against Dimir Rogues? I think I quite like the end in this matchup. Extinction Event, probably a couple of those. Meathook Massacre, Kalitas, I think. What are we taking out? Let's take out the Bank Busters. I like Rankle's Prank in this matchup. We can generally clear their board of creatures with Rankle's Prank, I think. Maybe a couple of Thought Seizers? Yeah, on the draw, let's take out 2 Thought Seizers. Yep. A little on the slow side, but Waste Not into Liliana is a hard one to say no to. Fair enough. Can live with that. Pretty rude. Alright, let's hit them with a Shieldred the Apocalypse. Yeah, I'm not actually going to let you use Fatal Push like that, I'm afraid. Oof. Okay, I'm seriously overdoing it on the land here at the moment. So I think we just pass the turn while we're Shieldred locked. Fair enough. It's Takanuma. Ooh, Rankle's prank is good. Okay, let's use that. Discard sacrifice. Okay, we're dead. Was worth a try. Okay, let's pop back in our turn 1 discard spells. Take out... Let's take out Rankle's prank, because it's a little on the expensive side if we're just going to run it into counter spells. Yep, decent enough. Just make our opponent sacrifice everything they play. We love to see it. Okay, let's try drop a Liliana. Plenty more where that came from. Let's get the discard train rolling. Okay, we got options now, so we can edict and make them sacrifice. That does involve losing our Liliana, though. Or we can waste not. No, I quite like clearing our hands here. Let's make them lose their creature. Oh, I see. I'm just going to flood out, am I? That's happened twice now. At least Gaia Reach will give us... Okay, let's blow up their castle Lochthwain. Use Fatal Push. Activate Gaia Reach. Good God. Okay, well, let's castle Lochthwain. Okay. We need some way of getting some things off the battlefield. Well, at least we get a 2-2, I suppose. Whew, okay. Okay, Kalitas is a decent draw. Sky Reach again. Jesus, the amount of land I'm drawing these games is... flippin' heck. Yeah, no, we just absolutely flooded out there massively. That was terrible what we drew there. Okay, on the play, the opponent's got Gigantha, so sacrifice of some description, or vehicles, or many other types of deck, all of which play Gigantha, just for fun. Okay, sacrifice it is. What are we taking here? Oven, I'm not fussed about. They don't have cat. Fable's just good all the time, so probably for the best. Okay, go Blankle is good here. Do I pull the trigger on that now? Just because I'm probably going to be quite busy the rest of my other turns, so yeah, that's fine. Just strip 2 cards out their hand. Um, yeah, I'm guessing this was what was happening. They'll hope to draw a fatal push. And of course they did. Just do our own thing for a bit, as they're not doing very much. No, not again. Sheesh. I mean, talk about the best possible 2 cards to draw. Oof. Mm, I don't like your vibes. Alright, let's take out Gigantha. Draw with Bankbuster. Hmm. So we can set up a Beseech the Mirror here, but what are we going to get with it? Waste Knot, maybe? That by itself doesn't seem that exciting, but... Let's go and get it anyway, I think. Right, let's Sanitarium. Ooh. Let's just play Shieldred, I think. Can't really go wrong. Okay, happy about that. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, let's drop another Waste Knot into play. Let's activate Gaia Reach Sanitarium. Play Liliana. Draw with Bankbuster. Double up on discards. Draw 2 cards. Okay, this is all going reasonably well. Well, let's get rid of their Mayhem Devil while we're here, then. Crocs is interesting. I think you kill Liliana first, don't you? Yep. Fatal Push is decent. Okay, they gave that one up. So Cry of the Carnarium, The End, the Meat Hook Massacre. I think we're taking out a couple of Thought Seizers on the draw. Kalitas, Hearse, Filigree Silex, Cling to Dust. What are we taking out? Let's take out Shieldred's Edict. Not that fussed against a deck that can go so wide. Take out one Rankle's Prank. Actually, let's take out two Rankle's Prank, just because, especially on the draw, because they tend to just sort of bleh their hand. Bleh being a technical term. Ooh, Filigree Silex. Let's stick Bank Buster into play here, I think. Obnixilis is a challenge for them. Yeah, they're mana hunting. Okay, well, let's play Waste Not then while we've got a bit of time. That's pretty rude. Okay, Beseech the Mirror will eventually be good. What do we... I think we can probably lose the Silex now. Or, actually, no, probably Cry of the Carnarium's not that good anymore. Okay, take the land. Okay, let's play Silex. We'll discard Beseech the Mirror now. Okay, don't hate having another Liliana. Mainly as discard fodder, let's be honest. Well, they're drawing lots of cards, but doing also a lot of durdling, so... I think we'll kill that with maximum speed. Okay, let's put a counter on the Silex. Prank is going to come in handy. So let's +1. Let's play Kalitas. And I think I'm happy to just blow up the Silex now. Just get the oven off the board. So it's not so easy for them to activate Fatal Push, which they clearly have. Right, let's make them sacrifice that. Let's Rankles prank them. Okay. Good work. So yeah, 3 decent matches there. I think we'd have done a bit better in the second one. I think we were a bit unlucky with our mana mix in a couple of those games. Drew a lot of lands. But yeah, I enjoyed that. Everything seemed to work pretty well. Rankle's prank was a very useful addition to the deck. I'm not sure. Beseech the Mirror didn't do much for us there, but then we only cast it, I think, once. So yeah, it's probably, maybe this isn't the right shell for it, but I thought we'd give it a go. I'm sure it'll see play in lots of other different types of decks. So yeah, that's our first Wilds of Eldraine Explorer deck. Yeah, that was fun. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much.